It's 500. Yeah, that's all good. But there's this Memorial Day weekend is a huge. I got a list of stuff everything that's going on at the 4 local tracks here. Last weekend they all got rained out, so there was not much going on. And this weekend, I mean, you got New Egypt is open, and looks like Maple Grove is open.
Maple Grove.
Yeah, Maple Grove. So if you're into drag racing and stuff like that, it's called Static Days. I guess if Nick Leach calls in, he can tell us what's going on at Maple Grove. This weekend is going to be New Egypt. I'm not going to be able to make it again because Saturday is me and Nancy's anniversary. So we're going out, and then Sunday's Mother's Day.
Going out to the racetrack. No.
Well, I'm okay with that. There's 2 of us here.
At Mother's Day, yeah. Well,
we made 33 years by having to compromise, so if we're going to do something different in between. But this week at New Egypt is going to be the modified twin 20 features. Yeah, 2 20-lap features. That's always exciting.
Cool.
You got your normal crates, Northeast wingless sprints, which are always a lot of fun. You got your street stocks, your rookies. And, I mean, it's pretty much a normal card for New Egypt, except for the twin 20s. Next week is going to be Memorial Day is the salute to vets, the 525. So I might end up going down there on the 18th because that's another normal card. 525 is a salute to vets. I might end up going to Bridgeport that weekend because they got a lot of things going on down there. Maple Grove's got a lot of things going on. The 23rd to the 26th, it's the Lucas Oil Drag Racing, which is a national event. So I might head down there too on the 25th, between maybe the 26th. The 25th is called the Night of Chaos. That too, I have no idea what that is. Hopefully, if Nick calls in, he can explain what that is. Sounds like a whole lot of racing and a whole lot of fun. It's right in my alley, chaos. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just the Memorial Day is where we're looking for now. The 18th, you got Wall. It's going to be running. Wall's closed this weekend. Wall is opening. They got the 40-lap feature, which is pretty cool too, because most features are around 25, maybe 30 laps. 40-lap feature. You got your sports, factory stocks, 4 cylinders, late models. I mean, it's just another full card of racing down at Wall. And if you're not into all the flying dirt, head down there. And that's there
you go.
Yeah, that's right down Route 34. So Route 34. Yeah. Head down Interstate 195, and then you make a left onto Route 34, and then you're right there. I mean, it's very easy to get to. If you're interested in going to Maple Grove, I'll give you the address. You can Google it. That's 30 Stafford Park Road. That's in Monton, outside of Reading. Not a long ride, less than an hour away.
Not at all.
And you're there, and there's a lot of good racing. I definitely want to get over there for some drag racing. And New Egypt's out on, nice and easy to get to, Route 539 as you get towards the shore, right past McGuire, just before you get to Lakehurst. Lakehurst Naval Station. So everything's all easy to get to and a lot of fun. So the next 3 weekends, aside from this weekend, is huge.
Yeah,
it's huge.
And always you always look on the cards every once in a while. You find a guy that was hot, or somebody the bad guy. We don't like him, so we can't wait to cheer, booing the villain or something. There used to be a lot of that years ago.
Yeah, everybody had their favorites. And everybody rooted for their favorites and didn't root for the other ones, and say, "Oh, I don't like this guy," even though he's, as you get older.
Hate is good in that, basically, they hate,
You see that more in NASCAR now than you're doing it in the dirt tracks. NASCAR, everybody's got their favorites. I mean, I was a Dale Earnhardt fan. Yeah, I bleed black, and forget Jeff Gordon, forget Rusty Wallace. Now, as you get to know over the years, you get like, Rusty was good, Mark Martin was good, Jeff Gordon was okay.
They lasted a long time.
But
and they were lucky they didn't get hurt either, obviously.
A lot of them. You don't see too many fist fights in the stands over your favorite racers.
No.
But once in a while you'll get, like, some people don't like Kyle Busch nowadays. I mean, he's a little arrogant and little abrasive, but he's a good driver, and so you have to wait a good,
Yeah,
it depends on your
I guess a little
personality.
blunt maybe would be
He's a little bit of a whiner in my
Yeah.
mind, but that's okay. I mean, he's a good racer. He earned what he got to. And,
Kyle Busch. There you go.
Yeah, Kurt Busch retired. He was kind of the same way. I'm trying to think of some of the others nowadays. I mean, there's little rivalries, like Kyle Larson's having rivalries with a bunch of guys, like maybe Ross Chastain or
That helps. That helps.
Chase Elliott. I like Chase Elliott. I like Kyle Larson too. I mean, but yeah, everybody's got their favorites. So
it adds a little spice.
that doesn't
to
mean
it.
you have to hate the other guy. You just have to say yes.
Yeah, I mean that's not a bad. I mean it's the emotion part of it. You can't take it out. You can't take it out.
Yeah. I mean, and back in the day with Dale Earnhardt, they called him the Intimidator, because if he was behind you, you had a pretty good chance of getting at least bumped.
Yeah.
If not spun out. So people didn't like him for that. I liked him for his attitude, and being a straightforward kind of guy.
You wanted somebody, yeah. Are you going to get the max performance? Or are you going to get a guy who's totally invested in what he's doing at the time?
That's it. He was max invested. And
yep. You're going to get something. Maybe something you'd be witness to something like a real confrontation kind of thing. That was what you're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, Richard Petty was into it. He was a max effort guy too, but he actually a little more less abrasive.
Yeah,
he was polished. Richard Petty was polished, where Dale was not. And,
but God love them both. I mean,
love both of them, all those guys.
And they're successful for different reasons.
Yeah. Yeah,
so, but
that's the joy of racing.
I mean the personalities. It's like the wrestlers, boxers or whatever you want to have. Some that very classy or smooth, and others is can't wait to rip your head off. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean I sit in the stands at New Egypt or Bridgeport, and I look at them and I say, "Wow, these guys." Look at Billy Pouch Jr. and look how he drives. Or now I'm following Paul Mancini pretty good, And it's like, wow, I really love their driving styles.
Yeah.
And I see Billy go from 15th to 2nd in like 3 laps. So it's like,
well, that's the progression. Maybe somebody was watching these guys, and now the next generation.
Right. Yeah, I watched his father run.
Yeah. Anyway, so all right, let's roll on. You're up with Fred. Go ahead.
Fred, what's going on, guys?
Hey, Nick. We were hoping you were calling.
Oh, boy. Yeah, and you know what? I'm driving a dump truck. I'm on Bluetooth, so no big deal. But now there's a lot of things happening. We got to hope Mother Nature cuts us a break.
I'm telling you. Well, we were talking about there's a lot going on in Maple Grove in a couple weeks.
Yeah, the Night of Chaos is going to be a really good deal. They got some stuff going on this weekend, but the Night of Chaos is the night you want to go. They had the rocket cars there, the jet cars, all kinds of stuff going on. And the chaos thing is because of Kenny Koretsky Sr. and Kyle. Kenny was Captain Chaos, and Kyle is Kid Chaos. And Maple Grove is known as the House of Chaos.
Oh, there you go.
That's where the chaos comes from. But that night is going to be, I'll be there probably that whole weekend, and it's going to be an interesting night. That'd be the night to go to Maple Grove for sure on that weekend.
All right, now you got me going. You got my head spinning between a couple of things going on now. But you may find me out there because my interest is peaked. So.
I mean, and our local tracks, Wall and New Egypt and Bridgeport. Of course, Bridgeport's got the movie going to start filming there.
Right.
And New Egypt has fans' favorite Driver's Nightmare Twin 20s this week. So the weather's got to cooperate. I'm always, Fred, and you'll probably agree with me with this, we should start racing the end of April and try and go through October. April's a terrible month for our kind of racing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's you weren't on last week with me, but I took my grandson down to New Egypt the week before, and it was kind of cold and dreary, and he made the best of what he could, but being 11. But we sat with Mark for a little bit, and Mark was keeping him a little entertained with. So we're going to go back when the weather gets there, and I'm trying to get my grandson involved. So.
Well, when you when you come back next time, I'm not going to say this for certain, but he should be able to get the royal treatment, and you'll know that because we had talked off the air.
Right.
Next time he comes there, he'll get the royal treatment. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, I want to thank you for having him shout out his name at the race. That was really cool. It really meant a lot to him. He had a big old smile on his face.
Well, Pete's a wonderful guy,
Yeah.
and Pete's about the same thing I am. It's about the fans and the people, and hopefully next time I'll be able to be there and take him for a ride on the golf cart and do what we got to do. But yeah, I you guys, this show is really taking off, and maybe next week I can get Kyle Koretsky to call in and talk to you about Maple Grove. Kyle is fully involved with the racetrack, and he'll be able to tell you all the neat stuff that's going to happen this year at Maple Grove.
Oh, that would be awesome. I'd love to talk with him. And we're actually turning this into a video, so this will be on my YouTube. So if anybody wants to catch it, and we're sending everything over to Primary Wave Music, who's turning them into, and WBCB is doing it here, to putting them on my America's Mechanic YouTube channel, and
cool.
yeah, so you'll be able to follow all that. So, but if anybody wants to come in as a guest too, if you want to come in as a guest, if you're not riding in your dump truck, or you can park out here. Come on in.
I want to know when Mel's Drive-In's opening over there, because the picture I saw on the internet, that was like the coolest picture. I mean, yeah, we got to open up Mel's Drive-In, come in, get a milkshake, and get the girls on the roller skates.
Yeah. Yeah, when the Milner car came in yesterday, I was like, oh man, and I just happened to have my car parked there, my T-bucket. So
yeah, that's a beautiful car. I mean, that was cool. That was really cool.
Got to bring the head of the Pharaohs in there too, right? So
yeah, we get some sleds in there. Actually, my friend Larry Danbury has that car. Maybe get him be one of the Pharaohs.
I kind of identify with the Bo Hopkins character.
Get a cop car in there and tie the rear up.
There you go.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. I mean, who doesn't know about them kind of movies? I mean, brings back a lot of memories, and
Hollywood Nights is another one.
Yeah.
Yep. Hollywood Nights. Oh, absolutely. New Bomb Turk in the Byway.
There you go.
Yeah. I had a pie wagon, a 56 sedan delivery.
Oh,
it was
nice.
painted hard. She's pie wagon, and it had Foghorn Leghorn on the side of it, holding the basket of oranges. Yep.
There you go.
I'll send you a picture, Fred.
Oh yeah.
All right.
We'll post it up. But
all right, guys, I appreciate you. Anything you need from me, you got it. I'll get in touch with Kyle. Try and get him to call in. He's very busy doing stuff.
Oh, I'm sure.
At the Reclamation Center and the track. So, but we'll try and get him to call in one day.
yeah, he's trying to manage the chaos down there, so I'm sure he's busy.
You bet. All right.
He's always part of the chaos, and I appreciate you guys. Anybody out there listening, call the radio show. Get involved here. You want to be a sponsor of this show, you can do that too. Fred and Jim will hook you up.
Oh,
Get
yeah.
involved here, gang. That's what it's all about. Thanks, guys. I appreciate the time.
All right, Nick. Thanks for the call again.
Thank you, man.
Love it.
Bye.
There you go. The
Yeah.
old pie wagon. Fran Drescher in there with
Oh,
a
yeah.
little bit part.
Yeah, we are hoping to see Nick back down in New Egypt sometime
Yep.
soon. We miss him really a lot down there.
Right now we got Earl.
Oh,
Earl
Earl.
the Pearl is on with Fred. Go ahead.
Hey, Earl.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Hey, always good to hear you.
I see some things going on down there.
Yeah. Hey, I want to mention, it's great to hear Nick Leach, great guy.
Oh, yeah.
I've worked with him off and on over the years because I've done some guest announcing at New Egypt. And Nick has come over to Wall Stadium periodically and been on the mic with us. So great guy, great supporter of the sport, and great racing family, too. So
Oh,
good
yeah.
to hear Nick Leach, one of the good guys.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I love Nick. But,
Yeah.
tell
Wall
us what's
Stadium
going on down at Wall.
Well, we're off this weekend.
Yep.
It was actually when the schedule was set at the beginning of the year. General Manager Emily Krause, no relation to me. Emily Krause, she's the general manager. They usually schedule Mother's Day off, which is nice, for the moms in the audience. So we're actually off this weekend, and unfortunately, like everyone else, we got rained out last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But as you mentioned earlier, looking forward to a good start to kind of the pre-look at Memorial Day weekend, May 18th. We have our regular racing divisions, the modifieds, as you mentioned, 40 laps. That's kind of unusual, but that's the standard at Wall every week, running the modifieds at that extra distance. and then regular 25 lappers for the sportsmen, the factory stocks, late models, actually the 4-cylinder cars, and then the legend cars. So it's a nice evening of entertainment, and as you mentioned, it's a good way to start the Memorial Day weekend in advance. So
Yeah.
it's a good way to do it.
And as far as the legends go, you don't see them around here that often, so or at least I don't. But they're actually a very good run.
Yeah, they are, and they're really good at Wall Stadium. They're powered by full race Yamaha motorcycle engines, and they're just ideally suited for Wall Stadium. So they put on a really good show there.
Yes, I've ran the Kenny Wallace Racing Experience, and the Legends was one of the choices. And I'm like, I've always wanted to get behind the wheel of a big block. So,
that'd be good.
But one of these times, I might hop behind the wheel of a Legend and take that out for a spin, see how it goes. They look like fun.
I give a shout out too. Speaking of the Legend cars, our defending champion at Wall Stadium in the Legend car division is Ryan Coulthard. He's a teenager from New Jersey, senior in high school, Howell High School, and he's got a great opportunity this year. He's going to run Wall Stadium on a semi-regular basis, but he's going to run a sportsman car. They call them 602 crate cars.
Right.
Southern Sportsman Series. They run basically in North Carolina and some races in Virginia, asphalt series. Driving for Doug Walcott, who was one of the top drivers over the years at Wall Stadium. Got into NASCAR. Doug Walcott was a crew chief for various NASCAR truck teams. And now Doug and Ryan's dad, Warren Coulthard, they've combined to put together a sportsman car. And young Ryan's going to have his opportunity to run that car down south. And he's really looking forward to it, while representing Wall Stadium as well.
Nice.
And whenever that series has a weekend off, he's going to come back up here and run the Legend car at Wall. But nice kid, he really represents the sport and his family very well. And it's like we talked about before, it's nice to see the younger generation, not just fans, but young racers coming up. He started off in quarter midgets, what we call Little Wall. It's a track that runs on Fridays and some Sundays right adjacent to Wall Stadium with the quarter midgets. And I know New Egypt has a quarter midget track as well. And that's a great training ground for young drivers. And Ryan went through that quarter midget sessions and moved up into the Legend cars and became a Wall Stadium champion last year. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm always amazed on how young some of these guys are. Like Alex Yankowski a few years ago, he got out of the car and he was like 16. I'm like, what?
Right. Yes.
It's like, wow, I never even thought you could do that. Because most of the guys growing up, when I was growing up, I think Billy Pouch Sr. was the youngest guy, and he was probably in his early 20s. So, but now his grandson's running the little cars. I can't think of what they are. They might be TQs.
Oh, the slingshots.
Yeah, that's what he's running.
Yes.
And
that's really neat. 4 generations of the Pouch family.
Oh, yeah.
All winners. That's great.
Yeah, a lot of fun. So, but if you want to check it out, go head down to Wall Stadium. We gave you the directions earlier. I-95 East, make a left on 34 North, and you're right there.
That's very nice. Thank you. That's good. Yeah, we look forward to getting, as you mentioned, I hope the weather really starts improving, but it's been a challenge.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah, even the nicest day that didn't have rain was cold, down in New Egypt. And, after a few hours, my grandson was like, Pop, let's go.
So I hope you'll come back for some nice warm weather to really get the atmosphere. And I'm sure you'll enjoy it once the weather improves.
Yeah, we want to. I want to have a beer instead of a hot chocolate.
Okay.
Yeah,
fair enough.
I know.
Hey, gentlemen, great talking to you. Keep up the great work with the show.
All right, keep calling in and helping us make it great. So thank you.
Thank you much, Earl.
All right.
All the best. Take care.
Hope all those drivers have had past driver's ed in high school. So they've had that.
I remember the first year Jeff Gordon was in, he couldn't rent a car. He was too young to rent a car.
He looked like Speed Racer. I mean, he did. He was a guy that, even when he's 50, he looks like he's 25.
He's still young. But it was funny because they were saying it's like here he is at. It was right after his first championship. Yeah. And he's like, he couldn't rent a car because he wasn't 25.
No, I wasn't 25. Yes, so. That's funny. That is funny. Or the guy on the Major League Baseball team can't celebrate the the World Series win because he can't drink.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's
Yeah.
too young. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to getting out to all these tracks out here,
Yeah.
and seeing some of my friends at all these tracks.
Look like they're pretty well maintained. They put some work into the grounds, Fred. Upkeep.
Yeah.
As far as making it a fan-friendly place too, not just
Yeah, they
just a
work-
rundown, dump.
Yeah, they work hard at keeping the track as dust-free as possible. But even with that, the dirt is part of the charm of dirt track racing. But they have the different compounds of track that they laid out there. New Egypt just put a new one down last year. Bridgeport actually did theirs a few years ago, and then made higher banks on there. But they're constantly doing improvements on all these tracks and to increase the fan experience, and it really shows. So
Yeah.
I mean, we just got to keep the news out there and get the fans in the stands and enjoy the racing, because there's a lot of good stuff. I mean, I can never say enough about it.
Was there a time where Atco was in the picture at all?
Atco was a drag strip.
Drag strip.
I'm not sure if there was.
I think
I've gone there.
It's long gone by now. I think.
They closed up a couple years ago.
But there was a time where Atco Raceway.
Yeah, Atco Sunday. Raceway Park.
Action. So
Yeah, but they're gone. Englishtown's been gone for years. That was a good racetrack. I remember going when I was a kid.
Raceway Park.
I mean, Langhorne here from what I hear, was a spectacular track. But,
What it was.
That's what everybody tells me. I mean, it was a little bit before my time. My dad tells me it was a great track, hard track to run, for the Indy guys and stuff. And there's been some accidents and problems there, but it was a hard track to run, and if you could beat Langhorne, you were a good driver.
That's right. All right, Mark, you're up with Fred Fletcher. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing?
Hey, Mark.
Okay, I just I got my news feeds in this morning. They had a race at Delaware International last night.
Okay.
And since you were touching on some NASCAR earlier, the winner down at Delaware International, half-mile dirt, was Stuart Friesen.
Oh, yeah.
Recognized him from the Truck Series.
Uh-huh.
And they had a pretty good show. I believe Mike Mahaney was second and Anthony Prego third.
Okay.
So they, I don't know whether, I know Ryan Godown went down. I didn't see where he had finished. But I'm hoping for some good weather coming up. I want to hit the Twin 20s at New Egypt this week.
Yeah, like I said, I wish if it wasn't my anniversary, I'd be there. But
yes, and then we have to watch the Memorial Day weekend. Sometimes Bridgeport in the past they've actually run on a Sunday a lot of times during Memorial Day. So and also it's a little further out, but for if anybody listening outside of the Bucks County area, you always have Grandview to go to. That's a great show.
Yeah.
Probably about an hour and 20 minutes or so from the listening area here. But, if someone wants to catch some real old school racing, there's the place to go.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because that always slips in my mind. I read about it all the time. Grandview, I see that things like, oh, ran Grandview last night, did well, blah, blah, blah. And then, then it goes out of my head. For some reason, Grandview goes out of my head. But I'm going to put that on my list here and then drum that up a little bit, too.
It's everybody ought to go there at least once, because the racing is all together. I'm not saying it's better than the racing right here, but it's much different, because you have that third mile, high banked, fast, and you have a lot of good drivers there too.
Yeah.
So everybody should put that one on their bucket list too.
All right, I'm putting it on my list.
All right, so all right, well, guys, again, another great show. Nice to hear from Nick and Earl, as usual. So we'll catch you next week.
And nice to hear from you, Mark.
Talk to you later.
Okay.
All right.
Take care. Bye. Bye, Jim.
There you go. Bye now.
Yeah, I sat with Mark for a little bit
Yep.
at New Egypt, and he was entertaining my grandson a little bit, and we swapped some stories. It was great.
You know who the writers are for, baseball writers have been around for years, and football writers cover the NFL for 30-some years, but you don't hear much about racing drivers, racing writers.
Maybe once you get more heavy into the sport, there might be a few. Mark is a racing legend. He's been around all these years. He goes almost every weekend somewhere.
They go to Dover Downs. They'll go to the big ones and stuff, but they're not in the
No,
second tier, you know.
Well, that's what we're trying to do here is
Yeah.
to bring the notification for these smaller tracks and the good racing that happens at these smaller local tracks. And it's not all just NASCAR. It's everything. The racing is just a joy. It's a joy.
Well, in the upcoming weeks, try to, like say, if hopefully it seems like the weather will not cooperate. It's just always either raining, some kind of mess going on.
Especially on the weekends.
Yeah, and it's been, you know, it's been kind of crazy. A lot of rainouts, Major League Baseball, all the other stuff across the nation.
Oh my God!
Bad weather.
I mean, I mowed my lawn about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I had to mow it again the other day. But it was almost knee high again. It's just rain.
And that's kind of, you know,
so
it's one of those kind of things, you know.
Yeah.
But
and like I guess what Nick said, we may run it to the end of April. I mean, start at the end of April, run in October, because you still get good weather in October.
You do. We get a good fall there.
We get. I know New Egypt will run till the end of October, and I think maybe the first week of November.
Yeah. Sometimes a slow spring. Do they ever make them up? Can they make them up, or just
it's pretty much over with. Yeah, it costs the tracks and it costs everybody money when that stuff happens.
So they just try to move on to the next one then.
Yeah, I mean, some of the drivers will, like migrate over to down Delaware, wherever the rain isn't.
Yeah.
You might see some Orange County, you might see some other stuff like that, but the track owners and the promoters really get it handed to them.
But you talk about rivalries. The Falfa Milner rivalry is heating up now.
If you want to come see the Milner car, it's sitting in front of my shop right now. So stop by and visit it.
It's iconic, it really is. You know, with that, and you see that, you just think of American Graffiti and the music and all the. Where were you in '62 and all this other stuff? It's.
Well, I wasn't even a thought yet.
I do remember, but you know.
I've always been drawn to that era. That was my dad's era, but I've always been drawn to that period of time.
Richard Dreyfuss, you know, when the Pharaohs and they robbed someplace, and Kurt, when you go off to school, I want you to take a little bit of a place with you. I think I have.
But that
was great.
Yeah, if you want to come by, check out the Milner ride, and I put my tea bucket back in storage there for a couple days.
Yeah, man.
But come on by. Check it out. It's a lot of fun.
And check in. We got an hour of power, basically, with Fred under the hood, talking the car stuff and repair, and then the need for speed.
Yeah, and you can actually check it out on the WBCB website, because now we're videotaping it here. You can check out the America's Mechanic YouTube channel that we just started with Primary Wave Music. Craig's doing the videos with me, and doing Behind the Wheel, Under the Hood, and Need for Speed, all on video.
You bet. Right here on WBCB.
1490 WBCB and 107.3 FM W297CL Levittown.
This is AP News. I'm Rita Foley. Donald Trump's back in court.
And I think you'll see some very revealing things today, and I want to thank my lawyers. They've done a very good job, but I'd rather thank them after it's over.
He denies it, but porn star Stormy Daniels has been testifying in his hush money trial about a sexual encounter she says they had, and the money she says she got to keep quiet about it. The AP's Julie Walker on what Stormy Daniels said on day one of her testimony.
Jurors appeared riveted by her testimony, Daniels going into salacious details despite repeated objections by defense attorneys who demanded a mistrial over what they said were prejudicial and irrelevant comments. The judge said no mistrial and also told Trump's lawyers to rein in their client because he was cursing audibly and shaking his head visually, which the judge said was contemptuous. Trump pled not guilty to charges of falsifying business records to hide hush money payments. Julie Walker, New York.
There's word just in this morning on how many Americans are now applying for unemployment. The AP's Sagar Magani has this.
There's another sign the red-hot labor market may be softening. The number of Americans filing jobless claims last week hit the highest level in 8 months, 231,000, up 22,000 from a week earlier. While that's the most since last August, it's still a relatively low number. Weekly unemployment benefits claims are